Hey friends. This is Rose, Coach Rose AJ, coming to y'all with another episode of Carnivore Plus a little bit more. So, in this conversation, what we're going to do is talk about things that are no longer serving us, right? So, I know that not everybody does things that no longer serves them, but I'm going to be very candid that I am a person who still does things that no longer serves me, even though I know what the outcome's going to be, right? I still do it. So what about you, Becky? We're just going to get right into the nitty gritty. What about you, Miss Becky?
Well, as an introvert, I'm pretty simple. If there's something that's not working for me, I let it go. And so I don't have anything right now that I'm ready to let go or feel like I need to let go. Maybe sitting in my chair too much might be the one thing.
Right, right. I think we are all guilty of that. But before I get to you, Miss Brenda, I'm going to actually share with you guys why I came up with this. So I was at my dentist last week having a cleaning. Now I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to go a little rogue here. So I value my teeth. I value my smile, right?
Mhm.
Been going to the same dentist office location for well over 35 years and had only seen two actual dentists, separate dentists in that time. So there was only two practices that were housed there. Then I just got tired. I didn't have a cleaning for a year. And I was like, that is so unlike you. You need to do it. Da, 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 da. So I went and found a new dentist. So they did the intake first, and then I had to come back for the cleaning, right? Such a lovely practice. And while I was there, I usually have what is that, laughing gas? But with
Okay.
COVID, they stopped doing that. And then
Mhm.
I mentioned to this new practice, I go, I generally prefer that, but they didn't do that anymore, yada, yada, yada. So I'd had to just bear with it. And she goes, oh, well, we do it here. I was like, hallelujah. So give me the laughing gas. Now, I'm going to be candid. It does relax me. I'm very aware, but I used to drink back in the day, alcohol as far as like beers and whatnot. So having this relaxes me enough to where it has the effect on me like I've had a beer or two, right? I'm like, I don't have a care in the world. But with all that being said, I'm also able to tap into thoughts that are
Hmm.
there that may not have surfaced in the same capacity. So through this cleaning, you guys, what dawned on me is, Rose, you really need to stop doing certain things that no longer serve you. Now, I've known this on a conscious as well as an unconscious level, but it never came through that clear. Does that make
Hmm.
sense, Brenda?
Sure.
Never came through that clear. And while I was in the dentist chair finishing the cleaning, I was like, well, what is it that I really need to stop doing at this precise time? And the first thing that came to mind is, Rose, you need to stop overeating on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And yes, yes, because a part of my OMAD or a part of me living the carnivore lifestyle is making an agreement with myself that I can eat till I'm full or just a little bit above it, right? And I'm totally fine. And I'm like, you just need to stop that practice because it's no longer serving you. Whatever you're hiding from, whatever boredom, whatever it is, you just need to stop. So that is something that I'm going to be working on
Wow.
because being 57 and eating 10% more than my body requires, I can get away with it through going to serve me the way it did 5 or 10 or even 15 years ago. I have to let go of that practice. So
Hmm.
thank you ladies for listening to that. And then what about you, Miss Brenda? Do you have or had you had any things that you were doing in the past that you decided to let go of that were no longer serving you?
Well, coffee, for example, I yeah, I enjoyed it, but I once I realized, hey, I am addicted, and I did not like that feeling of I have to have it. It whenever we would travel somewhere and I had to have my morning coffee, but I'm so uh, quirky, I guess, in my own way. We all have our quirks of how I have to have my coffee. And so I couldn't have just coffee. It had to be like espresso or whatever, plus uh, some kind of, at the time, it was usually cream and some flavor like sugar-free vanilla or something like that. But I had to have, couldn't just have the plain, and I had to have a flavor. So if we were traveling somewhere and somebody made a pot of coffee, it would be like, okay, I can add, maybe bring some cream with me or get some cream and then bring my own. I'd bring like some vanilla stevia liquid bottle with me, and I had to have that in the morning. And I'd also have to have one in the afternoon. Um, and or you go out, okay, got to go to Starbucks or wherever to get a coffee made, and that would be even more delicious. But it was like I had to have it, and I did not like that. um Now it's so strange when sometimes I think, how long has it been since I've been to Starbucks? It's been quite a while. And I know I'm going to meet up with somebody here at Starbucks on Monday. But I also had some, usually I would go to like, locally, we have Cutter's Point. I like to go to the local coffee shops. But I decided I just needed to get rid of it because it was too controlling. I didn't like how I depended on it so much. And once I was able to give that up, it's really freeing. It's like, wow, I don't have to have coffee. And on a rare occasion, I will have a decaf coffee if I go meet somebody in a coffee shop, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to have it. I Sometimes I'll just have some warm water or something, but I try to, if I'm going to use a coffee shop, I figure I should pay them for letting me use a chair. So I don't miss it. And it's been freeing to let go of that, really. And the cost, just say, not having to pay for that habit as well, but it's very freeing.
How long did it take before you didn't feel like you needed it?
Well, I actually did, this was my hard on a challenge through Dr. Lisa Wiedemann. I was in one of her coaching groups, and I joined her summer challenge. And she asks you to pick one hard thing and suggesting, for some people it's coffee. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, the first, I went, I think I had 4 days of really bad headaches, and that was hard. But then after that, it was okay. It was like, okay, I'm good. I was good after that. But it was also because I was in a community where I was being accountable. And so that was really good because I had said it publicly. I had made that commitment. And so that really helped a lot because I had tried before that to give up coffee, but I wasn't as adamant about, yes, this is really going to be it. Yeah.
Oh, Becky, do you drink tea, coffee, or any stuffs like that?
I do. I drink black tea. I try and cut off 11:30, 12 o'clock and don't drink any after that. But um, yes, with as gloomy and cloudy as it's been, I haven't been able to make my tea and then being out of town. So Christmas morning, I had to run to the QT and get a big thing of tea for a glass of tea for the day.
Mm.
And yeah,
Brenda, let me circle back to you for just a second. So, with you giving up the coffee, what were the positive outcomes besides the finances, you keeping your word to your community and whatnot? How was coffee serving you while you were drinking it? And how is its absence okay?
I think coffee was a comfort, and I thought I needed it for energy. Um, um, but it really was not it. Yeah, it was a comfort. And after letting go of it, I have found it wasn't a comfort I needed. It was just, it was something that developed, and it was an addiction. So it felt like a comfort, and maybe I've just gotten past it. I don't miss it. And I don't need it for energy, but I think there's other things going on in life that have given me more energy. So that's another thing. But just being able to trust that going through that process, yeah, I it is better after you get through it. Sometimes you don't see the end result, but you should, like you said, it wasn't serving me. And once I let go of it, it's like, yeah, that really wasn't serving me, and better off without it. And I could tie that into alcohol too. So that's kind of similar in that it wasn't serving me. So I'm better off without it, is usually what I tell people when they say, well, don't you want just one or try this? It's like, I'm just better off without it. You know.
And I want to piggyback on the alcohol as well. So with me, addiction, food addiction, it could have been drugs, but it could have been so many things, is what I want to say. But I thank God that it was food, right? And it shows up differently in the outcomes than somebody who is addicted to substances and alcohol. But for a while in my life, alcohol was becoming a second addiction, which I would like for us to venture into in a future conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I abruptly quit drinking in October of 2018 because I did realize that it was doing more harm than good, right? And because of my mental health, I felt good while I was drinking, but the depression was considerably worse in the aftermath. So we'll talk about that. And if I could share with you guys one more thing that came as a point of enlightenment for me. I was looking in some group or doing something, and I'm 6 feet tall, right? I'm 6 feet tall. My natural set point of weight is about 180, where I don't have to struggle. I don't have to over exercise. I don't have to do anything. And that's from high school. And I remember that very clearly being a baseline. And I always think that I should weigh less. Isn't that
Mm-hmm.
crazy? I think I should always weigh less. So 170 is my carnivore weight. I don't have to struggle to maintain that, but it does take work, if that makes sense. And I'm a daily weigher by nature, and I don't use the scales numbers to dictate my day, but I use it as a measurement, a tool in my toolbox. And it dawned on me as I was looking through some groups and stuff, there was another African American young lady, beautiful. She showed her before picture. She started at like 260, she said at the beginning of this year, and she's now just over 200 pounds. And I'm like, she doesn't look like she's 200 pounds. She doesn't look like that. She is just amazing. She's beautiful. And she's not saying that she needs to lose more weight. And it made me say, Rose, you need to give up the fucking scale for 30 days. For
Mm.
30 days and get your mind right
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing okay to be 57 and weighing what you weigh. Your
Yeah.
body is going to tell you. So that's another thing that dawned on me just to give it up. So I'm giving it up until February 1st. So it'll be like 36 days. But anyway, so thank you guys for letting me share two things that are clearly no longer serving me. And thank you, Brenda, for contributing in regards to your coffee. And I have to say, Miss Becky, that I'm a little envious. Have anything that you need to give up or want to
Well,
give
I'm
up?
sure there's things, but am I willing at this point?
Oh,
So,
okay. That's the key word,
Yeah.
willing.
yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this conversation of Carnivore Plus a little bit more about things that we have given up or that are no longer serving us. Ladies, do you want to close out with a final thought?
It's fun chatting with you ladies, and I'm learning a lot. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. this is really good to share, and make you bring some good things to for us to think about. So
Absolutely.
Right
always.
on. And I thank you both again so much for being on this adventure with me.